Mama Funke sat quietly on the worn wooden bench in her Ikea grey apartment. For 3 months, she had been away from the Johnson sons' law chambers, observing life from a distance, preparing for something important. Her grandson, Tunde Johnson, was about to take the helm of the family's prestigious Lagos law firm, but Mama Funke knew the city's sharp edges could hide many dangers, even within their own walls. Determined to ensure that Tunde's world was safe and genuine, she devised a bold plan. Disguised in a modest uniform of cleaning staff with a simple head wrap and an old wristwatch, far from the luxury her name commanded, Mama Funke entered the bustling law chambers. The firm was a hive of ambition, with lawyers hustling through Victoria Island's unforgiving streets, preparing cases that could make or break lives. Almost immediately, the atmosphere turned cold toward her. Some of the younger female staff whispered and laughed behind her back, mocking the fake rich cleaner who dared to tread where the elite walked. The sharp tongues and sideways glances stung, but Mama Funke remained steady, her eyes sharp, quietly observing every face and every word. She was here for a mission beyond pride. When one brash woman, Kemi Adiwale, shoved her gently and accused her of trying to join the upper class, Mama Funke's calm was tested. Just as the tension escalated, a firm voice cut through the room. "Enough." Amara Okoro stepped forward, her tall frame commanding respect despite her youth. Her sharp eyes met the offenders with quiet fury. "Why waste energy bullying someone just doing her job? Don't you have bigger fights to fight?" Amara challenged, her voice steady like the Lagos law she loved. Kemi sneered at Amara, mocking her past heartbreak and loneliness, but Amara did not waver. She spoke of self-respect and integrity, values she clung to after betrayal by a cheating colleague. Slowly the bullies retreated, leaving a silence thick with grudging respect. Mama Funke watched Amara with a small knowing smile. Here was a woman with a good heart and quiet strength. Perhaps, just perhaps, this was the one who could love Tunde for himself, not for the Johnson name or fortune. Later that day, Mama Funke approached Amara at her desk, gently asking for a moment. The conversation was unexpected. "Would you marry my grandson?" she asked plainly, eyes searching. Amara blinked in surprise, unsure if the offer was a jest or a serious proposal. "I'm focused on my career," Amara replied cautiously. "Love hasn't been kind to me lately." Mama Funke nodded knowingly. "Tunde is not like the others. He's kind and true, and I believe you two will bring out the best in each other." Amara looked into the elder woman's eyes and saw no falsehood. The seed was planted. Outside, Lagos hummed on, full of challenges and hope, a fitting stage for a story about love, truth, and new beginnings. The next morning, the Johnson sons' law chambers buzzed with its usual energy. Among the sharp suits and quick steps, a new face moved quietly through the corridors. Tunde Johnson, disguised as a humble intern, known simply as Tommy. His clothes were plain, his shoes scuffed from Lagos streets, but his eyes held the calm confidence of a man who belonged to the firm's highest circles. No one recognized the true heir to the Johnson legacy. Tunde was here not to command, but to observe and understand the heartbeat of the firm from its ground floor. He believed leadership was not about titles, but about empathy, knowledge, and respect. Assigned to assist Amara on a high-profile case, Tunde found himself drawn to her sharp intellect and quiet strength. Amara, a proud graduate of the University of Lagos, had earned respect through hard work, but she carried the invisible scars of betrayal. Her former boyfriend, Chuka, had cheated on her right within these walls. Their partnership began with professional courtesy, but soon blossomed into something deeper. Tunde's insights were precise, often surprising Amara. "You're better than most interns I've worked with," she said one afternoon, a hint of a smile softening her usual seriousness. Tunde chuckled softly. "I like learning from people who are passionate about justice," he replied. "And you're one of the most passionate lawyers I know." For Amara, whose trust was hard-won, this kindness was a balm. She felt seen, not for her position or background, but for who she was. But not everyone welcomed Tommy's presence. Kemi Adewale, a young lawyer with sharp ambition and sharper envy, viewed him with disdain. "Low-class intern," she whispered to a colleague, thinking he belongs here. Kemi's cold eyes often met Amara's, her rivalry simmering beneath forced smiles. Meanwhile, word began to spread that the elusive Tunde Johnson would soon return to take over the firm officially. Staff whispered about the heir apparent, painting him as a distant, untouchable figure. Little did they know, he was walking among them in disguise. At home, Mama Funke watched from afar, her heart swelling as she saw Amara and Tunde's growing bond. "They are starting to get along," she muttered, pushing her cleaning cart with a sly smile. "This one is special." Yet, beneath the growing warmth, the Lagos cityscape reminded them all. Power, pride, and secrets always lurk beneath the surface, ready to test the strongest bonds. As weeks passed in the bustling law chambers of Victoria Island, the partnership between Amara and Tunde, still working as Tommy, grew stronger. Together they drafted legal arguments for high-profile clients, often working late into Lagos's humid nights. Their easy laughter and mutual respect quietly blossomed into something deeper, a fragile hope that love might heal old wounds. But in the shadows, envy festered. Kemi Adewale's jealousy morphed into a calculated vendetta. Watching Amara's rising reputation and the special attention she received from Tommy, Kemi plotted ways to undermine her rival. One afternoon, Kemi orchestrated a subtle sabotage. She tampered with crucial documents in a case Amara and Tommy were preparing to present to a powerful client. The files, stored on a shared cloud drive popular among Lagos firms, were altered to contain errors that could ruin their chances. When the meeting came, Amara noticed discrepancies, her heart sinking. But Tunde's sharp mind caught the errors in time. With calm precision, he corrected the documents, impressing even the senior partners. Kemi's plan backfired, but her bitterness only deepened. She whispered threats to Amara, warning, "This isn't over. You're lucky this time." Amara, though shaken, found strength in Tunde's unwavering support. "You're not alone," he assured her quietly. "We'll face whatever comes, together." Amid the office tensions, Amara's personal life weighed heavily on her. Her mother's constant calls reminded her of Lagos's traditional expectations. "When will you bring a husband home? I want to see my daughter settled," her mother would say warmly but insistently. Amara felt torn. Her career, the heartbreak from Chuka's betrayal, and now the mysterious intern's quiet kindness, pulled her in different directions. Yet each day spent with Tunde gave her a glimpse of what love could be: patient, respectful, and true. Meanwhile, rumors swirled about the real Tunde Johnson. The staff speculated about his arrival, some fearing he would favor only the elite. Kemi smirked at the thought of keeping Amara out of the inner circle. But Tunde had a plan. He knew to protect Amara and himself, he would soon have to reveal the truth. The time was coming for masks to fall. Back home, Mama Funke continued her watchful presence, balancing her dual roles as matriarch and humble cleaner. Her faith in Amara and Tunde grew stronger with each passing day. The vibrant streets of Lagos outside thrummed with life, unaware of the quiet battles and blossoming love unfolding within Johnson Sons' law chambers. The atmosphere in Johnson Sons' law chambers grew charged with anticipation. The elusive heir, Tunde Johnson, was expected to make his grand official return. But until the moment, the man known as Tommy, the humble intern, working alongside Amara, quietly observed and learned the firm's inner workings, and the people within it. One busy morning, the tension broke. Standing boldly in the middle of the office, Tommy called for everyone's attention. His voice rang clear, cutting through the whispers and curious glances. "I have something important to say," he began, his eyes scanning the room. "I am not just an intern." The room fell silent, breaths held tight. "My real name is Tunde Johnson, and I have been working undercover to understand this firm and the people who make it great." A ripple of shock washed through the crowd. Some gasped, others whispered disbelief. Lucy, the envious junior lawyer, scoffed loudly. "You, Tunde Johnson? That's the funniest thing I've heard this year." Amara's eyes widened, torn between shock and admiration. Later she pulled Tunde aside, whispering urgently, "This could ruin everything. Please don't risk it." Tunde's eyes revealed frustration and pain. "Amara, I'm telling the truth. I am Tunde Johnson." Though unsure, Amara's heart softened as she saw his earnestness. But complications mounted. Her ex, Chuka, overheard the commotion and seized the moment to mock her. "A poor intern pretending to be Tunde Johnson? That's a new low for you," he sneered. Tunde's patience snapped. "Chuka, leave Amara out of this," he warned firmly. "Your lies could get you sued for defamation." Chuka laughed bitterly, but was interrupted by the arrival of the HR manager and security. After repeated misconduct, Chuka was terminated on the spot. The office buzzed with shock and murmurs. Amelia's, now Amara's, supporter count grew as Tunde stood by her side, his presence a shield. That evening, Mama Funke called Tunde with a plan. To ease tension, his trusted secretary, Heir, would impersonate the CEO publicly, allowing Tunde to maintain his undercover position a little longer. The next day, Heir arrived at the firm, exuding confidence in a tailored suit. The staff fell under his spell, especially Lucy, who fawned over the CEO with calculated charm. Meanwhile, Tunde watched from the sidelines, his eyes resting often on Amara, admiration and affection deepening. Lagos's hustle and bustle outside mirrored the whirlwind inside the chambers, a dance of power, deception, and the fragile beginnings of trust. With Heir's confident impersonation of the CEO easing tensions at the firm, Mama Funke saw it was time to take bolder steps. Her health, already fragile, weighed heavily on her mind. She yearned to see her grandson, Tunde, united with the woman she believed was his true partner. One afternoon, Mama Funke approached Amara again, this time with a solemn urgency. Clutching her chest and feigning frailty, she softly confided, "My time is short, my dear. I want to see Tunde married to someone strong and kind, someone like you." Amara, touched yet overwhelmed, hesitated. The idea of marriage, especially under such pressure, stirred old fears from heartbreak and betrayal. But beneath her doubts, a gentle warmth blossomed, a quiet hope she hadn't felt in years. That evening, Tunde visited Mama Funke's apartment, finding her pale but resolute. "Married?" he echoed, surprised yet moved. "If Amara agrees, then we must honor your wish." Amara and Tunde met to discuss the proposal. Though uncertain, their growing affection made the decision easier. They agreed to take a leap of faith, blending Lagos's traditional customs with a simple civil ceremony. At the local registry office, under the soft glow of afternoon sun, they exchanged vows. Amara wore a modest white dress, Tunde a crisp suit. Family and close friends witnessed the union. A promise not just of love, but partnership through Lagos's challenging streets and corridors. Yet even as love grew, shadows from the past emerged. Ifeoma Edze, a glamorous Lagos socialite with ties to the oil elite, arrived at the firm. Claiming to be Tunde's wife, her presence stirred whispers and insecurities. Her designer outfits and coral beads sparkled under office lights as she sought to remind everyone, and especially Amara, that she was not easily forgotten. Amara faced Ifeoma's thinly veiled threats with quiet dignity. "I appreciate your concern," Amara said calmly, "but I believe I can handle whatever comes my way." Behind the scenes, Ifeoma plotted to regain her place, fueled by jealousy and wounded pride. As Lagos hummed outside, the newlyweds braced for the trials ahead, knowing their love must prove stronger than past ties, rivalries, and the unforgiving pace of the city. The tension at Johnson's son's law chambers thickened as Ifeoma Edze's presence became impossible to ignore. She moved with the grace of Lagos high society, but carried the venom of a woman determined to reclaim what she believed was hers. One afternoon, as Amara was out running errands in the bustling streets of Yaba, Ifeoma slipped into the Johnson family mansion. She knew Tunde's routines well, his quiet moments after work, his cherished rituals. Finding a bottle of wine chilling in the lavish kitchen, Ifeoma smirked. pulling a small vial from her designer purse. Pouring its contents into the glass, she whispered, "This will remind him of our past." Later, as Tunde relaxed in the mansion's living room, he unsuspectingly drank from the tainted wine. The subtle effects of a local herbal sedative soon clouded his mind, threatening his safety and the fragile peace they had built. Unbeknownst to Ifeoma, Mama Funke arrived unannounced, her instincts sharp as ever. Sensing something amiss, she spotted Ifeoma lounging casually and the suspicious wineglass on the table. "What are you doing here?" Mama Funke demanded, her voice icy with authority. Caught off guard, Ifeoma tried to mask her intent, but faltered under the matriarch's piercing gaze. With years of experience, Mama Funke sniffed the wine, her face darkening. "Did you spike this?" she asked coldly. Ifeoma stammered, but Mama Funke cut her off, calling security to escort the defeated socialite from the mansion, ensuring she never returned. Soon after, Mama Funke called Amara urgently. Arriving at the mansion, Amara listened with a mix of anger and disbelief as Mama Funke recounted the attempt to harm Tunde. "This won't go unchallenged," Amara vowed, her voice steady despite the shock. Sensing the need for privacy and healing, Mama Funke ushered Amara and Tunde into a locked room, insisting they take time to confront the crisis together. Amara sighed but allowed herself a small smile as she held Tunde's hands. "We're stronger than this." Tunde, eyes resolute, promised, "Nothing and no one will come between us." Outside, Lagos continued its frenetic rhythm, but within those walls, love and loyalty fortified the couple against the storm gathering on the horizon. The Johnson sons' law chambers buzzed with whispers of scandal. Kemi Adewale's relentless campaign against Amara escalated when she publicly accused her of leaking confidential documents to rival firms. The firm's atmosphere thickened with suspicion and doubt, threatening to unravel Amara's hard-earned reputation. In a tense meeting, Kemi brandished a folder, claiming it contained damning evidence. Emails supposedly sent by Amara revealing sensitive case details. The room fell into murmurs as eyes darted between Amara and the alleged proof. Amara's voice trembled yet remained steady. "This is false," she declared, "and I will prove it." Tunde, still under cover as Tommy, clenched his fists beneath the table but restrained himself. Instead, after the meeting, he approached Amara quietly. "I believe you. We'll find the truth together." With Mama Funke's discreet network reaching into Lagos's legal circles, Amara gained access to forensic support and investigative resources. She combed through emails, server logs, and surveillance footage, unveiling the deception. The incriminating emails originated from Kemi's own account, and she had accessed files after hours to plant false evidence. When Amara presented the findings in a follow-up hearing, the room gasped. The senior partners immediately reprimanded Kemi, exposing her malicious intent. At that moment, Ifeoma entered, unexpectedly confessing her role in aiding Kemi's plot. Her motives rooted in jealousy and desperation to reclaim Tunde's affection. Tunde's gaze hardened. "You have harmed an innocent woman and damaged this firm's integrity." Lucy and Ifeoma were escorted out, their schemes undone by truth and justice. The firm's staff, humbled, approached Amara with apologies, acknowledging the wrongs of workplace harassment and envy. Amara held her head high, addressing them firmly. "Bullying is unacceptable, regardless of rank or wealth. Let this be a lesson." Tunde nodded in agreement. "We will foster respect, professionalism and fairness, here and always." Outside, Lagos's chaotic energy mirrored a firm transformed, ready to rise with integrity and unity. With justice restored and the firm slowly healing, a quiet moment finally arrived for Amara and Tunde. One evening, sitting on the balcony of their modest Lagos home, the city lights twinkling below, Tunde looked at Amara with a softness that spoke volumes. "There's something I've wanted to tell you for a long time," he began, voice low with nostalgia. "It's why I became a lawyer." Amara raised an eyebrow, curiosity flickering in her eyes. "Why?" Tunde smiled gently. "Because of you." She blinked, surprised. "Me?" He nodded. Years ago, when we were teenagers in Lagos, I was cornered by bullies. You stood up for me when no one else would. You told them you'd sue them for harassment and bullying. That moment changed me." Amara's eyes widened, memories flooding back. She recalled a shy, wealthy boy bullied in the schoolyard, an unlikely connection to the man before her. "I never forgot that day," Tunde continued. "You inspired me to fight for justice, to protect the helpless. When I walked into this firm and saw you again, I knew I couldn't let you slip away." A shy smile warmed Amara's face. "I had no idea." "Her." Tunde pulled her closer. "You've been my inspiration from the start." As they embraced, the past and present wove together, strengthening their bond. Meanwhile, Mama Funke hosted a family dinner in Heir, the room filled with laughter and warmth, yet she eyed the couple with playful seriousness. "You make a lovely pair," she said, "but you know what would make this even better?" Amara tilted her head. "What, Mama?" "Great-grandchildren," Mama Funke declared with a laugh. "I'm not getting any younger." Amara flushed, laughing nervously, while Tunde chuckled. "We're taking it one step at a time." Grandma's words lingered like a gentle promise, as Lagos's vibrant pulse whispered of new beginnings. Though love blossomed and justice was served, shadows still lingered. Ifeoma Eze, scorned and desperate, refused to disappear quietly. From her sleek car outside Tunde and Amara's Lagos Island mansion, she seethed with jealousy, determined not to lose the man she once claimed. One afternoon, while Amara was out attending to errands in the bustling markets of Yaba, Ifeoma sneaked into the mansion. Moving silently past the household staff, she headed to the kitchen and spotted a bottle of wine chilling on the counter. With a cold smirk, she poured a potent herbal sedative, an age-old Lagos remedy turned weapon, into a glass. "This will remind him of the past," she whispered darkly. Later, when Tunde returned weary from work, he unwittingly drank the tainted wine. Slowly, his vision blurred, his thoughts clouded. Dangerous weakness threatening his health and their fragile peace. But Mama Funke's sharp instincts sensed something was wrong. Arriving unannounced, she confronted Ifeoma in the living room, her voice icy with authority. "What have you done?" Caught and cornered, Ifeoma faltered. Mama Funke summoned security immediately. The socialite was expelled from the mansion, her schemes exposed. Amara rushed home after Mama Funke's urgent call, anger and disbelief coursing through her. "She won't get away with this," Amara vowed fiercely. Mama Funke guided Amara and Tunde to a locked room for privacy, insisting they confront the crisis together. "You need time, alone," she said gently but firmly. Despite the shock, Amara and Tunde found solace in one another's arms, their love a shield against the toxic forces outside. As Lagos roared on, the couple's bond grew stronger, fortified by honesty, resilience, and hope for the future. 2 weeks after surviving Ifeoma's dangerous attempt to undermine their love, Amara and Tunde gathered with family at Mama Funke's home in Heir. The air was light with laughter and warmth, a stark contrast to the trials they had endured. During dinner, Amara suddenly excused herself, pale and uneasy. Tunde's concern deepened as she returned, her face drawn and worried. "We need to go to the hospital," he said firmly, refusing to take no for an answer. At the Lagos General Hospital, after careful tests and hushed conversations, the doctor's smile broke through the tension. "Congratulations, Amara," she announced gently. "You're pregnant." Joy and relief flooded the couple. Tears glistened in Amara's eyes as Tunde squeezed her hand, whispering, "Our family grows." Back at Mama Funke's house, the matriarch nearly danced with delight. "I told you, great-grandchildren will come soon." The journey had been filled with heartbreak, deception and battles for justice. Yet through it all, love and integrity had prevailed. Now, standing hand in hand on the balcony of their Lagos home, Amara and Tunde looked towards the future. The city lights sparkled below, a tapestry of hope, challenges, and endless possibilities. Tunde turned to Amara, voice soft but sure. "Whatever comes next, we face it together." Amara smiled, her heart full. Together. Their story, forged in the vibrant heart of Lagos, was just beginning.